This is a torta di pollo e verdure. It's a chicken pot pie without the crust. How many people love chicken pot pie as a comfort food, but they don't want to make a crust? I've got the answer. This is crustless. Trust me, it's delicious. So you have to start out with a form because you're going to unmold the pie. So this is a spring form pan, and it has a spring that releases so that the sides come off. So a 9.5 inch spring form pan that you've lightly greased with a little bit of butter, olive oil spray, or just vegetable spray. So do that and set it aside. Then you want to have ready, you're going to be using ricotta cheese. And when I buy ricotta cheese, I like to buy whole milk ricotta because I think this is a much richer tasting cheese in this dish. So I'm going to dump that out and add the ricotta. There's our ricotta cheese. Now we need to add a few more ingredients to this. This is a really delicious pie, and it's even better if you make it the day before. So we're going to mix up the cheese. And this cheese is pretty bland, so you want to give it some salt and some pepper. And I like to give it a little bit of oregano. That goes in. Parsley or basil. We have some fresh basil here. And some red onion would be nice with this, give it a nice little color. So always use fresh herbs. Here's a little onion going in. I like a little hotness with this, so some hot red pepper goes in. A little milk or half and half just to loosen that a bit. Stir that around a little bit. Isn't that pretty? Just all by itself. And then we want cheese. Here we have provolone cheese. Here it is grated up. So we're going to put cheese in. This is really a rich tasting dish. And then we want to have some rice. And here we're working with that classic Italian rice that's used to make risotto. This is called arborio. This is a short grain starchy rice that can absorb a lot of liquid. And we used 1/4 cup, and we are going to put in about 1.5 cups of cooked rice, cooked arborio. And you don't have to stand and stir it to cook it as you do for risotto. This I just covered with water and I let it cook all by itself. So we want to mix all of that in. And you can see now that this is starting to get thick. We need some red pepper. So here we have a beautiful red pepper. So we want to cut that up into pieces. Again, this is not only for taste, but also just for look in this pie. Because when you eat this, this is absolutely beautiful to look at when you make the nice wedge and put it on someone's plate. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So that goes in. There's our red pepper. Now for this, we want to grate the zucchini. And the reason I'm grating it is because I want everything to cook at the same time. So let me get out my trusty cheese grater. And we'll take off the ends. Use really young zucchini because they don't have a lot of seeds. And we're going to grate that right on the wide holes of our cheese grater. Okay, that looks like enough. Set that aside. And in goes the zucchini. Beautiful. So now we mix all this up. Every time I do this, it reminds me of the Italian flag because it has the colors. So you want 4 large eggs. And we're just going to lightly whisk those to break up those yolks. Just like that. Goes in with the rest of the ingredients. Now, we want to mix that well. Very, very colorful. Really mix it well. And this is my version of what you would put in a classic chicken pot pie. Okay, now what we have to do is cut up the chicken. And you just want to cut them up in chunks. They're going to not be seen, so there doesn't have to be perfect, so just cut them up in chunks and add them to this mixture. If you didn't want to cut, you could also shred with your hands. So in chunks. And if you didn't want to use chicken for this, you could use turkey. But remember, we're using organic chicken. So there's that. And here's my last piece. And that's all there is to this. Now what we're going to do is have our oven preheated to 350 degrees. Get rid of this and show you what happens next. Now what we're going to do is put this into our pan, that pan that you have all prepared. Well, let me get it out. And I'm going to put it on a bake sheet. So pack it in there. Just like that. And spread it evenly in that pan. Just really pack it in there nicely. And that's all there is to it. We're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to let this cook for about 30-35 minutes. And then we're going to take it out, and we're going to put some breadcrumbs on top of it. So in the oven it goes.